Has the whole world really gone Hollywood? Everybody's trying to be Hollywood. Lights, camera, action in Hollywood. So much faking. Can't even force myself to be Hollywood. Not even if I tried, wouldn't hardly could. I'm just a brother from up out of the hood, trying to make it. Let me tell you what it look like. They tell you what to look like. In a business meeting trying to tell you what to sit like. Let's get this biz right, I'm trying to get right. If we ain't talking numbers, loosh, we out on the next flight. Maybe next time I take a boat to a different land. With my kin, you can catch me on Brazilian land. What's living life if you ain't really living it? What's making songs if you ain't really living it? Damn, it feels so good if you ever get the chance just to be yourself. I can only be myself, so listen. Hollywood's got us, the whole world really gone Hollywood. Everybody living like Hollywood. Lights, camera, action in Hollywood. So much faking. Wouldn't even force myself to be Hollywood. Not even if I tried, wouldn't hardly could. I'm just a brother right up out of the hood, trying to make it. Shorty's on the verge of death, better yet suicide. She don't know who she is inside. Botox trying to make her ass look fat. Now shorty's on the corner getting cash with that. At age 16 had a dream to be a cover girl. Now she rather live a life as another girl. Sniffing white lines, put her mind in another world. I don't wanna see this happen to another girl. Damn, it feels so good. You never get the chance just to be yourself. I can only be myself, so listen. Hollywood's got us, the whole world really gone Hollywood. Everybody living like Hollywood. Lights, camera, action in Hollywood. So much faking. I can't even force myself to be Hollywood. Not even if I try, wouldn't hardly could. I'm just a brother right about it, trying to make it. Do me and try to be the best at me. Has the whole world really gone Hollywood? Everybody trying to be Hollywood. Lights, camera, action in Hollywood. So much faking. I couldn't even force myself to be Hollywood. Not even if I tried, wouldn't hardly good. I'm just a brother from around the hood, trying to make it.
My next guest, I'll go ahead and bring him on. I have Mr. Louis Diuguid from the Kansas City Star. Are you there, brother?
Yes. Hi. How are you?
I'm doing great. And yourself?
Oh, can't be better. And Jonathan, it's good to talk to you, or good to hear you on the radio. You sound
Louis,
fabulous.
It's nice to hear your voice. It really is.
Yeah, we were at the University of Missouri together, but we're also born and raised in St. Louis, or at least raised. Isn't that right?
Yeah, well, I was certainly born. Yeah, I was born in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And my father, of course,
Hometown.
was the first black reporter with the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
Hometown.
Now,
well, see, you have a longer history in journalism than I do. I'm the first in my family.
Well, you're doing just fine, though.
Now, did you guys know each other before college?
No, but we knew each other in college.
We did.
Yeah.
Definitely in college. There were so few black students at the University of Missouri that those of us who were there, we definitely got to know each other pretty well.
Sounds good. Yeah, that was great because I asked both of you if you knew each other. You said yes, and I just asked, were you guys friends? Because I didn't want you to be like bitter journalist rivals, and then I had you both on.
I'm actually a Louis Diuguid admirer.
You were both.
Please, man. I was admiring you. You were the one who went to the New York Times. I was still scuffing and scratching in Kansas City.
Well, we all have to scratch somewhere, brother. Believe me.
Yes,
scratching
absolutely.
Here too.
Absolutely. Well, it's part of the game. Journalism is a tough business, and anyone who gets into it, my hat's off to those individuals. Anyone who stays in it, I bow down.
Mm-hmm. And just a real quick question, because to me, I can apply it to maybe sports, to where if you have two people playing in high school or even in college, and then they go on to make it to the NBA or even the CBA, it's like you feel like you guys both accomplished something together, even if you were in two totally different fields or two totally different areas of the country. And so I just want to ask you guys both, Brother Hicks, before I let you go, like, how does it feel seeing the success of Lewis, and Lewis, how does it feel seeing the success of John, where you guys both, like, were trained together?
I think one of the world of journalism is sort of, particularly people of color in journalism, has been almost like its own fraternity. And I think that there's a lot of mutual admiration and support. And, I admire, Lewis for he's still in there in a very difficult field that's having a lot of challenges in today's economy. And, I sort of did my 30 years in the industry and then moved on to, kind of new pastures. But what he's doing, I mean, he's really in the trenches, and I think we all admire that sort of longevity and stick-to-itiveness.
Yeah.
The other side of it is that I'm not as smart as Jonathan to know when to get out when the getting's good. But the thing that we'd always do as we got out of the university and were in our careers is we would see each other at the National Association of Black Journalists conventions.
Right.
And that was a time to catch up, and it was a time for fellowshipping and networking and things of that sort that would allow us to just reconnect. And again, that's why we have maintained a friendship, though distant, over these years. And I continue to do journalism. It's something that I feel a great passion for, and I'll continue to do it as long as I can.
Definitely. Well, I want to go ahead and thank you, Brother Hicks, for your time. Just thank you for your knowledge and just everything that you shared. And if you're willing, then I'd love to have you back on the show at a later date.
That would be very nice. Thank you. Lewis, good to hear your voice, man.
Same here, Jonathan. Take care now.
You too.
All right, take care, brother, and I'll talk to you later. All right, now, the spotlight's on you, Mr. Diuguid. How are you doing?
I'm happy to be here. Tell about yourself. You can call me Lewis, please.
I will. I'm blessed, man. I'm doing very great, and I just appreciate, you taking the time out to just chat with me for a second. And let me go ahead and put it out there. I just appreciate you for your support through the years, and that's why tonight's show is real special to me, because I know that it's full of people that I know are in my corner 100% without a doubt, and actually some of the people that I look up to the most in my life. And so you are right up there at the top of that, and I just thank you. Thank you for everything.
Well, it's been a thrill to know you. It's been 15 years now. Be 15 years this fall. So that's a good stretch of time, and you have come of age and developed into quite an artist, and I feel grateful to have known you all this time.
Well, thank you. The pleasure is all mine, 100%. Well, let me give you a proper introduction. We have on the line Louis Diuguid from the Kansas City Star. He's been with the newspaper since May of 1977, and is another graduate from the University of Missouri at Columbia. And you are the author of 2 books, and I just want to talk to you about those 2 books real quick. The first one, it was published in 2004.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct? Okay, and that's A Teacher's Cry, Expose the Truth About Education Today. Can you give a brief summary of what the book is about?
Sure, I'm happy to. The core of the book is on the time I spent at Washington High School in Kansas City, Kansas, and that's, of course, where I met you. And what I did was extremely unusual, especially in journalism. I started going to class with students such as yourself from your freshman year until you graduated in 1999. And I wrote about the experience of being back in the school for the Kansas City Star in columns. I wrote about 100 columns during the 4-year period. In the stream of other columns I was writing 3 columns a week at that time to just let people know what education is like today versus what they thought it was like when they went through school. I say thought because a lot of times when you're going through the process of education, you don't see the full picture. You know your own situation, your own problems and challenges, successes, but it's hard to kind of capture it all. And what I tried to do was to give people an assessment of what it was like from the teacher's perspective, what it was like from the student's perspective, what it was like both in school, outside of class, in people's homes, in their lives, in a day-to-day look at education. What was unusual about it is that this is not the way that journalism covers schools. We have a tendency to cover schools from the perspective of the administrators, from the perspective of the school boards, and sometimes from the teacher's perspective, and very little from the student's perspective, except if the students are messing up or if they're doing some unusually good work. And then we go in and we look at it, and then we come out. And we don't really tell people what they need to know about what's going on in the classrooms, and that's what this project was about. And then I was able to put it together in a book, which finally, the manuscript was done in January of 2000, but it didn't get published until 2004 because of some issues that I had with the initial publisher, but I finally got it finished and got it into print.
Okay, definitely. And real quick, your second book is Discovering the Real America Towards a More Perfect Union. Can you give us a synopsis of that one?
Yes, that book really looks at people who have been long discarded, long pushed into the margins in this country, whether it's African Americans, Native Americans, Asian Americans, Hispanics, people with disabilities, people who have been incarcerated. It takes a very large look at diversity. A lot of books on diversity really focus on one type of person, one type of issue, and what this one tries to do is to sort of show the bigger picture and how we're all in this together, how we are struggling for respect, for opportunity, for equality, and our struggles in many ways are linked. And a lot of times we find ourselves put in the Willie Lynch position of being divided, so that when we are divided, we're not really working toward helping each other and unity so that we all progress together.
Yeah, great. That's great. And, anybody out there listening, definitely want to check out A Teacher's Cry and Expose the Truth About Education Today and Discovering the Real America Toward a More Perfect Union by Louis Diuguid. Louis, I'm sure you remember my cousin Carl. He was playing the role of Mac in my play Just in Love 2, Addicted to Love.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got him on the line, actually, and I know he wanted to holler at you for a moment. Carl, you there?
Oh, yes. How you doing, Mr. Diuguid?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Okay. As Mac, I was successful last year in the play, but I also like to commend you on the great little write-up you had done on the play and about us. And, that inspired me and motivated me a lot, Mr. Diuguid. So, I never forget about that.
Well, I appreciate that because part of the reason I see for doing columns in the newspaper is to And it's like the book Discovering the Real America. It's to lift up for everyone to see the things that individuals such as yourself and Tim are doing that really deserve recognition. And part of, I think, the beauty of African Americans in journalism is that we get to tell the stories of people like yourselves that other journalists wouldn't even consider.
Yeah.
It's when people can read those things about folks who have been, again, pushed into the margins that they realize, well, golly, those folks shouldn't have been in the margins in the first place. They should be right out here front and center, and everybody should pay attention to them.
Right, and they also should pay attention with people like yourself because you are one of the greats.
Well,
I have to put that in my book. You're one of the greats.
All I do is try. You all are the ones who help to make all the rest of it possible, and I just continue to, again, do my best to get things going and get things underway. And then find people like you who deserve highlighting.
Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. And Mr. Diuguid, I just want to thank you for your time. Before I let you go, just want to ask you for those people out there who may not get those breaks, like you said, the majority don't. They don't get somebody who maybe puts a close eye on them or gives them an extra boost. For those people who don't have that support system, is there anything you want to say to them that's out there listening right now before you go?
Well, don't give up. One of the things my mother said before she got Alzheimer's and then died is always remember you're never alone. And if you can remember that you are surrounded by people who are going to be working on your behalf, be in your corner, then it will help you to know that, okay, you might encounter a dozen people who tell you no, and you are the most ignorant, stupid person in the world to try to do something that no one has ever done before. But there's always that one who will say yes, and so every no becomes an opportunity to continue to find yes. And so you must not give up. And I was raised in a family that demanded that you never give up, and you keep going until you get the things that you want, because somebody out there is going to believe in you. And it is as Jonathan Hicks said, it is partly by the divine hand that we are guided to these opportunities, and that those opportunities will prevail for us if we are able to see it. Because God will open things up, but you still have to have the wherewithal to know that there's that opening, and then you go for it.
Absolutely. Well, brother, I want to definitely thank you for your time, and if I could go ahead and schedule a tentative appointment to have you back on, then I'd definitely love to do that.
Well, and certainly I'd be happy to do it. It's always a joy to talk with you and to see your success and be part of your success. And for people who are interested in my books, they can go to Amazon.com.
There you go.
Just type in my name and type in the titles of the books. Actually, just type in my name, Louis Diuguid, Diuguid. Doesn't spell anything like it sounds, and that'll make it come up.
There it is, and I'll be sure to put a plug in that next week also. So I want to thank you, brother, and I'll be talking to you soon.
All right, you take care now. Thanks again.
You too. Take care, and God bless. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You too. Bye-bye.
Good Sunday morning, everybody. It remains for so many one of our strengths as a society, diversity. And in a year when the race for the White House highlights some of our differences, is it getting any easier for all of us to find common ground? Louis Diuguid is a journalist, a columnist, and vice president of community resources for the Kansas City Star. He has been involved in the paper's diversity initiative since it began in '93. He writes columns for the Star, often focusing on diversity issues, and he is out with a new book, Discovering the Real America Toward a More Perfect Union, from Brown Walker. And Mr. Diuguid is our guest this morning. Good to have you here. Good to see you again.
It's good to be here. Thanks.
One of the things that struck me as I opened this book the other night, you talk about a Father's Day 1997 column that you wrote about your father. And it was meant as a feel-good sort of piece. But the reaction to it, and one of the voicemails you got, and I'll just take the passage from the book. The woman remarked in the kindest voice what she thought was that I was a good writer. And then she said, the Father's Day piece was nice and well-timed, and then she added, quote, why did you have to ruin it by putting black people in it? She didn't leave a return phone number, but if she had, what would you have said to her?
I always call people back when they give me the opportunity to do so by leaving a phone number. And I think that we need to have that chance to engage folks who might say things like that. I think one of the problems in this country is that we're carefully taught to believe that this is a country that is dominated by white people, that is only about white people, and everything should reflect that, when in fact the diversity in this country has always been here and it's growing. I would have told her that what we need to think about is the value that people of color and people who are different bring to this country, that we do many of the same things that people who are white do. We want to be viewed as Americans all across the board. Yes, we are different, but that difference is what adds to really the greatness of America.
And this was a piece that you wrote in '97. Do you still get reactions like that in 2008?
Constantly. As a matter of fact, if people have any doubt, they can go onto the Star's website at kansascity.com, look up the columns that I write. There are several going back a few months. And at the bottom of each column now, the Star allows people to post their comments. Often the comments are very vicious, very tinged with issues of, I can't believe that this issue about diversity or race is being brought to the public, and why is it here? And so there's the denial constantly and the dismissal of people of color.
And so after 400 years, one of the conclusions that you come to early on in the book is we really don't know each other all that well, do we?
Absolutely. And I think that what Senator Obama is trying to do with his presidential race is to bring people together, to get people to discover what the real America is about. He has specifically stated that his efforts are to work this country to one in which it is a more perfect union. Words that stand out in some of the greatest documents that have ever been drafted in the world, not just in this country. And I think that that's what we need to do. We live in a very segregated society, a very segregated city, a very segregated America. And it has allowed people to let the stereotypes about us to grow, proliferate, get stronger. And we need to find ways to come together. One of the benefits of gasoline prices being so high is it's caused people to ride the bus. If people are riding the bus, then they're having to rub shoulders with each other. That increases the opportunity that they'll start to have conversations, that they'll start to see the humanity in people who they thought they never had anything in common with. And we have much in common.
Are one of the answers no more mysterious than just getting people in a common setting and begin a dialogue?
Absolutely. One of the things that I set out in the book is to offer solutions to our problems. And I have some formulas for diversity that are in this book. And one of those formulas involves talking. We have to start with a conversation. We have to value people. We have to understand that they bring something to the table that all of us need. And once we see that the conversations we have with other people who are different will enrich us, then we begin to see that these individuals who we thought we had nothing in common with really can add to the quality of our life.
But I also suspect, too, that there is a probably sizable segment of society which getting them to talk is great, but presenting the opportunity, getting them in a situation where they interact with people is a lot easier said than done.
Well, and that's because of the resistance. The resistance has been building up in this country since the 1600s.
But how do you break that down?
Well, I think that the breakdown begins to happen when people see value in what they can gain from it. The Ethnic Enrichment Festival is going to take place August 15 through the 17th. that's a great opportunity for folks to go out to Swope Park, see that Swope Park is this wonderful place that we have in Kansas City, see great people who are of different races, ethnicities, nationalities, and what they have done for us, for our country. It's not, oh, we don't need to be bothered with them, or those people will do us harm. Quite the contrary.
You also talk in this book about the media's role when it comes to the fact that after 400 years, again, there's so much about each other that we don't know.
Well, the media, I think, have done a superlative job of keeping us apart. They have enabled us to be fearful of some people, African Americans in particular, to be distrustful of others, people who are Muslims, to want to throw out people who are Hispanics because all Latinos are illegal immigrants, according to the media. And nothing, again, could be further from the truth. We are people who want to be accepted, want to succeed, want to just be part of America, to plug in and go, and to be welcomed in our efforts.
One more time, the book, Discovering the Real America Toward a Perfect Union, from Brown Walker Press, the author, Louis Diuguid from the Kansas City Star. Good to have you here.
Hey, it's been great. Thanks,
Appreciate
Chris.
it. Back to you.